Hi, hopefully you have understood that how to write insert and select queries. Now we are going to write the update queries and delete queries. Before going to write the update query, I will go to select the data from our table. Just let me write the query to select the data. Employee info, this table. One thing that you need to remember is that your database name should be selected in this dropdown. This dropdown contains the list of available databases that are residing on your SQL server. Here is my database, which is Employee Management DB. It has already been selected. Just to cross check that what happens if any other database is selected, let me select any other database. For example, I select the master and try to execute my query select star from employee info. Employee info is the table of employee management DB. You can see that SQL Server Management Studio marked a red line under the name of my table, which is indicating that this table does not belong to this database. If I try to execute, it will give me an error. It says invalid object name. Okay. Now just change the database name and select the correct one. You can see that the red line has disappeared now, which means that SQL Server Management Studio is able to identify the database name and database table. Just execute it. Okay. Let me try to drag it. Okay. You can see that this table contains the record of 7 employees. Before going to write the update query, I am going to comment out the current query, which is select query. To write an update statement, type the keyword update, then type the table name, which is employee info. After that, type a keyword set, then place the name of column for which we have to provide the new value is equals to new value that needs to be defined for this column. I am going to change the name David, this one, with King David. So new value okay. If I proceed to execute this query, it will update the name of all employees, all records of this table with King David. Therefore, we will always have to define a where clause to update the correct row only. Okay. So provide the keyword where, and now primary key of this table has to be used, which is employee ID is equals to 3. Okay, let me execute this query. It says one row updated, one row affected. Okay, just comment this line to avoid any mistake. and go back to our previous query, which was select query, uncomment it and execute it. Here you can see that the name of David has been replaced with King David. Got it? Okay. This was the case where only one field was to be changed. But in practical examples, you may have 2 or 3 or more columns that needs to be updated. To update more than one columns, I am just going back to the previous update query. Okay. To update more than one columns, you just have to place a comma and write down the other column. Okay, date of birth. Previously it was defined as 1982 October 1982. Let me change it with 1st November 1985. Okay, now if you revisit the query, it is update employee info, which is our table. Set means the new value is going to be provided for few columns. Name, column name should be the King David, comma, date of birth is 1st November 1985, where employee ID is 3. Now let's execute this query. Okay, it says one row affected. Okay, let's check the select statement. First, let me comment it out and go back to the select query and execute the select query. Okay, if you look at the record where employee ID is 3, name has been changed with King David, date of birth has been changed with 1st November 1985. In this way you can change multiple columns to fulfill your requirement. This was the very basic and practical example of update statement.